Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Hell Yes podcast. I am your host, Hailey Gamba. How is everyone doing today? If you are listening to this episode right when it drops, we are a week out since the election. And I never discuss politics for a multitude of reasons, but I want to just say this. I am so proud to be a woman. And even if the outcome that I would have liked didn't happen, I am so grateful for how far we have come that I was able to vote for a Black woman to possibly be the president of the United States. If I'm being honest, a part of me felt like we as a nation were not ready to have her in office. I know I was, but I'm speaking for America as a whole. I really was praying and hoping, but the truth is I just didn't see it happening this time around. Although I am disappointed, I am not going to spend the next 4 years crying and hating my life. That is not how I operate. I do not let other people determine my fate. That is for me and God to do. Although I am very aware of the crisis that is at hand, there is nothing I specifically can do about it in this moment. The best thing that we can do is exercise our rights to vote, hope that things happen the way that they should. All that being said, I really would like for all of us to heal, for us to be kind, and for us to be compassionate, as we all, I believe, are more similar than we are different. And I hope and pray that there will be some unity amongst this chaos. Now, I kind of want to discuss the beautiful outpouring of love that I got from last week's episode. Thank you so much. I struggle to talk vulnerably when I am in the midst of healing. I think a huge reason why is because healing is sensitive and it's not linear. It can feel strange. It can feel anxious. It can feel angering and disappointing. And it can also feel light and eye-opening. Healing has many different emotions tied to it. And when you are in the midst of it, it's just a highly sensitive time, regardless of what you're feeling, whether it's joy, awareness, anger. It's still heightened anxiety or heightened feelings, I should say. This was the first time where I was able to really share openly. And I think the reason why was because as I get older, I realize that my life is my life, and nobody can tell me that my lived experiences are incorrect, that I'm doing anything wrong, that my perception is skewed, because at the end of the day, it's my life, and it's how I see it. I had someone comment to me and say, I've listened to you for some time, and I really like everything you're doing, but you do tend to have masculine qualities at times. And I think in the past that used to really bother me because I would feel so unseen or seen incorrectly. But the truth is, I do possess masculine qualities, as I also possess feminine ones. And I think that that's healthy. And I think that that's normal. I am not ashamed of how I present myself anymore. I think for a long time, I wanted to mold into what people thought the idea of a woman should be, but I am nothing of the sort. I don't know many women personally that remind me of myself. And when I do meet women that I think are similar to me, we usually become close friends. It's very rare that I come across someone who went about their life the way I did and had the same start as me. Now, of course, as I get older, I meet women all the time who have had similar lived experiences to me, and it feels very validating because for many years, my life felt so different than others. When I was a kid and I walked around with that shame of my sexual abuse, I remember thinking, oh my God, I'm the only kid that this has happened to. I'm so alone. Here I am, in the town I grew up in, a sexually abused victim, a child, Black, in an all-white town. I mean, how different am I? And I felt it. But as I've gotten older, I've met more people who have had similar experiences to me, who have gone through more heinous things, who have experienced even more of a unique lifestyle. it makes me feel seen in a different way. But when I think about who I am in totality, I don't really meet many people like myself, and I'm okay with that. It makes me feel good knowing that a comment, a thought, an idea that is about me no longer triggers my inner child or my inner spirit or something that I feel like I should have identified sooner. The truth is, I am who I am. And the only thing I can do is either one, accept that, and then two, the things I don't accept, I need to grow. I need to build. I need to heal. And I need to work on. So that's what I choose to do every day of my life. And it feels so empowering. But again, I want to thank you guys for the outpouring of love. The majority of you guys wrote me the most beautiful, kind, amazing messages that have really made my entire being feel so beautiful and so seen. And although I really wasn't looking for that, it was a surprising thing that made me feel really great. So thank you. Today, I want to discuss how we should start practicing what we require from life, what we require from others, what we require from opportunities, and what we require from God. We need to start practicing that in our own lives. It's essentially being accountable and taking radical responsibility for who you are and what you become. Whenever I think about the things that I can work on, it's always the same sort of thing because I know my own issues. I know where I fall short. And I know my triggers. That being said, I really wanted to dive deep today and discuss things like boundaries and confidence and respect, because I really think that those things shape your reality and how you can actually get what it is that you require. Because a lot of us don't want to admit it, but the truth is, a lot of what we require we don't easily give to others or to the universe. We don't easily give respect. And I'm going to explain that deeper today. We don't easily respect people's boundaries. We don't easily understand confidence and what it does. And we don't identify when other people are without judging. And we don't take our lives serious enough at times. When we think about practicing what we require, and we want people to take us seriously, whether it's a boss, a man, a friend, an acquaintance, I need you to reverse that sentence and ask, do I take myself serious to attract seriousness back? Essentially, don't lead your life like a joke. I think this analogy will really help put things into perspective for you. Imagine being on stage. There's a video behind you, a compilation video. And there's people in the audience and they are watching this video compilation. And in this video, it's your texts that you've sent to people. It's private interactions that you've had with people. And it's even your thoughts about yourself. And it's all put into one video. Would you be proud of the images that were shown? I need you to really sit with yourself and ask if you would be. I know for me that I can honestly say that I would not be, at least not in some of those areas of my life. I have definitely sent a few texts. I have definitely had some not so great interactions with people. And I sure as hell have not always been kind to myself. So seeing all of that would be very jarring and disappointing. Now, of course, you can look at this one of two ways. You can say, I'm happy that this showed me who I am in entirety and where I need fixing. So I'm grateful for the awareness and I accept it. And I think that that's a good way to go about it. But I also think that it could be embarrassing. It could be uncomfortable and it could feel disrespectful to yourself and to others. I think that both of those feelings are completely okay and normal. And I am willing to accept them both. I guess for me, what I decided when I envisioned all of these things together, because I like to really have that visual in my head so that I can do this in a shadow work prompt. I asked myself, How can I take my life more seriously so that I can attract what I technically require? Because the truth is, what this is showing you is how unserious you actually are at times and how it contradicts what you so deeply desire in others and from others. We must do that deep healing. How can I attract partners, friends, and opportunities that have the level of seriousness that I desire if I am so unserious about myself? I think it's important that we do show up authentically and we don't criticize ourselves too much for being humans. So having a negative interaction here and there is not the end of the world. But if you are being so flippant about whom you're speaking to, what you're talking about, how you're not being mindful about what you're saying and the impact it has, it's time to be a little bit more serious and to tighten that up. I know for me that a few things that I'm doing moving forward is I am leaving certain things unsaid that don't need to be made clear by me. Not because I don't believe that I should speak up. It's that the outcome would not change if I did. And a great way to set a boundary with someone when you don't like the way something is going is by removing access. So that's kind of how I think I need to move forward. I need to be more respectful, more understanding. I need to present myself in a way that I would be proud of and I would be proud of other people. And that is just how I want to live my own life because I want to attract people who are more considerate with their own lives and that they practice that level of self-respect and discernment with what they're doing, what they're saying, how they're moving, how they're interacting. Now, let's kind of move into the topic of embarrassment because when I thought about having that image on a big screen of all the times where I've messed up, I thought about how I have such an interesting relationship with embarrassment. I would always say to my friends and to even people that I know that the biggest sign of disrespect that a man can do to me is to embarrass me. And I think the real question is, well, Hailey, why are you so afraid of being embarrassed? Is it to preserve your ego? Is it because you're trying to have a level of respect that is skewed by perfection or what you think is perfection? Is it that you prefer private matters to stay private, which there's nothing wrong with that, but some people are more open than others. And the truth is, it's a little bit of all. I struggle to let people see me look crazy, see me down. It is a very difficult thing for me. I have too much pride. And I thought to myself, okay, well, here you are on stage. Here you are being embarrassed. And this is obviously a visual. This is a visual of my shadow work. How can you bounce back from this embarrassment? And I thought about it because I think that a great way to authentically work on yourself is by having all of these experiences and figuring out how to navigate them in a way that best suits you. And is also just a very good way and a graceful way to move through life. So a great way to bounce back from embarrassment is to, one, own up to things. Own up to where you messed up. Own up to where you've fallen short. If you were a little crazy, you can admit that. You know, there was a time where I was talking nuts to this one guy because I believe I was ovulating. I believe I was going through it. I maybe had too much wine. And I was writing these crazy texts. And I remember waking up the next day feeling so embarrassed because it just wasn't me in entirety. Like, I think it was a version of me, but it was a more outspoken, crazier version of myself. And I'm normally a little bit more rigid when it pertains to these types of things. Owning up to it by being like, oh my God, silly me. I drank too much. I apologize for getting too crazy in those messages. And then also like accept that you made that mistake. Like if that is not a particular instance that you're proud of, whatever it is that you did that maybe was embarrassing, whether it was gossiping, saying too much, or doing an action that did not align with your values, whatever it is, own up to the fact and accept that you made that mistake, because ignoring it or gaslighting someone to thinking that it didn't happen the way it did, or just not fully accepting your failure there is just moving away from bouncing back. So accept that you made the mistake and then maintain your confidence. Like, don't let this knock you off your rocker. Don't let this ruin you. Why should you not show up because you were once embarrassed? Who cares? I promise you, people really don't. They forget. They have their own lives to worry about. And the best way to really move through life to your own benefit is to be confident with it. Say, oh my God, silly me. How could I do that? Blah, 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 blah. Move on. Hold your head high. Walk with confidence. Smile. Create distance between you and that thing, but you don't need to have this shame looming over you and this discomfort. It is so unproductive. I also think that it's important that you confide in those who you trust to hear their opinions and offered advice. I am big on if I feel like I made a mistake or I feel like I embarrassed myself or I did too much, I love to ask the people that I'm closest to their thoughts on it so that they can either tell me what it is or tell me that I'm overreacting and it wasn't that big of a deal. I trust my friends and family enough to tell me the truth because they have. Not everything has always felt fantastic. I don't always hear what I want to hear, but I hear what I need to hear. Now, I kind of want to discuss for the idea of practicing what you require. I think it's really important that we talk about respect, not only self-respect, but giving respect to other people. Because when we require it, we need to not only give it, but we need to give it to ourselves. How have you been practicing respect in your own life? How do you show up for others? How do you show up for your goals? Are you affirming yourself? Do you let other people finish their sentences? Essentially, are you a good listener? Do you let people have differing opinions than you without causing strife? Are you communicating more openly and directly? These are great ways in which you can look inward when thinking about how to command respect from others and to also give it to yourself. For instance, the question of, are you communicating more openly and directly? How can you give this to yourself? Well, are you respecting yourself enough to be real with yourself? Are you being direct with yourself? Or are you avoiding your responsibilities? Are you avoiding doing the thing that needs to get done? Are you avoiding the healing, the work, whatever it is? If you want people to be direct with you, you need to be direct with yourself. If you want to be direct with people, you need to require that as well. For me, I have learned that when I don't work on something within, that if someone brings up something that alludes to that, it's a trigger for me. So I've identified already that what triggers me are the things that I don't work on or the things that I still need to work on. So I no longer allow myself to get overly worked up about anything that triggers me because I know I'm self-aware enough to know that that is something I personally need to work out. And it's not their responsibility to pander to my trigger. That being said, respect yourself enough to do that. When I think about letting other people finish their sentences, how are you reciprocating that to yourself? Are you allowing people to steamroll you? Are you allowing people to always talk over you, to always carry the conversation? And how can you redirect that narrative for yourself? How can you shift that from receiving respect to be able to speak, but then also giving it? You need to start practicing these things in your own life. And that also goes for having differing opinions. Listen, I get it. There are certain topics that are very serious and require critical thinking skills and require a lot of patience. I personally, and this is my own personal stance, I don't expect other people to always be where I'm at, but I personally can differ from someone and not want to blow up, not want to end the relationship or the friendship or the whatever. To me, respect needs to be present for these things to happen well. And if respect isn't there, well then throw the whole conversation in the trash. But a great way is by opening up your aperture to things that you maybe don't believe in or don't understand, and ask yourself, where is this judgment coming from, or where is this lack of understanding coming from? Is it because my lived experience is different than theirs? Is it because I was taught to be this particular way my whole life? Is it faith-based? Does it have to do with like some sort of situation and ask yourself, well, if this person doesn't agree with me or they have a differing opinion, how will that affect my life moving forward? And for the most part, it will not. It doesn't affect you. So stop letting things affect you that shouldn't. On the topic of respect, do you know how to set and respect boundaries? Often we fail to give those the things that we so deeply desire. Think about how there are things that we want to have some privacy with, whether it's an important matter that we're going through, something that has to do with a relationship, something that has to do with our personal life. Why do we get upset when others don't share everything with us if we want that privacy in return or that privacy respected? It is not their business and it is not your business. Like I said, we need to start practicing what we require. So when I looked inward and I wanted someone to respect my privacy, to give me space, to be patient with me, well, I had to ask myself, well, was I doing that for others? Was I giving people the respect? Was I giving people the space? Did I feel entitled to other people's private matters, to their personal life? And I don't care who they are. They could be family, friends, lovers. I don't care. We are not entitled to everything. And it is important that we understand that so that we can get exactly what it is that we desire. I kind of want to also discuss some boundary setting statements that I have downloaded from Pinterest because I think that a lot of people struggle to instill boundaries because they don't know how to verbally say them. So I have a couple boundary setting statements in front of me. One is, I won't allow you to use your guilt to control me. My reasons are personal and I don't have to explain them to you. Do you think that's appropriate? I am not prepared to change my mind on this. I don't know off the top of my head. Let me get back to you. Thank you for your concern about X. I've got it from here. Let's discuss this when we are both feeling calm. And the last one is, I am confident in my decisions. Those are some really great boundary setting statements. And I love them because there's an assertiveness in the tone. It's a way to end the conversation, but also give respect to the other person. Like you're not telling them to go fuck themselves, but you kind of are. I know that this episode was kind of all over the place, but I had a lot of topics I wanted to really go over when I thought about practicing what I require. These were the areas in my life where I was not honoring that. What I so deeply wanted respect in and what I so deeply desired, I was not practicing in my own life fully. I wasn't respecting certain people's boundaries. I, at one point in my life, felt entitled to certain things. I was not treating myself the way that I wanted others to treat me. I just didn't have a good head on my shoulders about certain things. And I think now that my awareness is so big, I'm starting to see why I had the experiences I did throughout my life. Even when I think about great ways to respect yourself, like a great thing to think about is like, stop looking for who is not looking for you. Stop begging others. Stop saying more than is necessary. When people disrespect you, confront them immediately or remove access. Reduce how often you visit some people, especially if they don't reciprocate it. Invest in yourself and make yourself happy. Stop entertaining gossip about other people. Think before you talk. Always look your best and dress the way you should. I just read this, by the way, off of a Pinterest thing because they really articulated how I was feeling when I thought about where I've lacked respect. And that kind of goes back into the original statement I said about seeing all of your texts and experiences with people on a big screen. It really put things into perspective for me that there is so much work to do. And thank God I have the rest of my life to do it, but I am taking radical responsibility of it now so that I can attract more experiences that align with my purpose and align with my love and desire for a happy, beautiful life. I really encourage you to do this. And for the women who are listening that really crave full autonomy, independence, and the beauty that comes with having those things, I know that doing this work will change your life because it's changing mine. I am already seeing the shifts in my life due to my acceptance, my growth, my healing, and where I am choosing to right my wrongs and rewrite history for myself. If you guys want me to elaborate further in a future episode about respect, on boundaries and all of that, please let me know on Instagram. It's at Hailey Gamba for anybody who doesn't already know. I am so grateful to be here sharing with you guys and essentially just spilling all my thoughts out in a way that feels safe. I love you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Go do something great today. Love you guys. Talk to you guys next week.